It's our final home game of the season, as Nigel Pearson's Bristol City take on the champions, Burnley, here at Ashton Gate. It's a massive game with just under 3,000 Burnley fans filling that away end over there, coming here, celebrating becoming champions and still hoping to reach that 100-point mark. I'm lucky enough to have pitchside access today, so I sit around the ground, show you some things you may not see on the usual match day and speak to some fans ahead of what is a massive last home game of the season. The refs have arrived. Burnley's coach is about a minute away, I think. Bristol City arriving soon as well. Here come Burnley then, the champions. Here comes Josh, XC. Happy to be back. Here comes the big man, last off the coach, Vincent Company. Looking to make it 100 points for his first season with Burnley. A win today put him right on track to do that. Andy, you're Burnley's journalist for The Athletic. It's the final home our final home game of the season, your final away game. You're champions. It's been a good old season for you, hasn't it?
It really has. One that wasn't necessarily expected at the start of the season, with the turnover, the number of players leaving, number of players coming in, Vincent Company coming in. Wasn't exactly, wasn't proving it. In the Championship, he said himself he was going to be learning as he went along. But yeah, for what they've been able to achieve, champions promoted with 7 games to go. It's just been incredible, and it's been an incredible watch as well because the football they've played has been superb.
Pretty solid, really, on the whole. I think you look back to the first 10 games or something before the international break, and it was really entertaining. It feels like a lifetime ago now, really. Think about it. Entertaining, goals, scoring plenty of goals. I think we went up to third at one point after a victory at Blackburn. And then from then it's kind of been a mixed bag, hasn't it? Like really good form, dip in form, back in form again. So again, it's that kind of consistency which Nigel Pearson's been banging on about all season, really. I think there's plenty to be optimistic about going forward. A few new additions, but again, the younger players are getting another year older, a bit more experience. So I think where they are in the league table is probably about right. There's always an argument for them being higher. But all you want is progress from the season before, and I think they've shown that this season.
And you've had such a good season, you can still reach 100 points, I think, even after dropping points against some teams you would expect Burnley to win against. I think if you win today and win against Cardiff, you 100 points, you're confident with that?
Well, I mean, I think secretly the players and Company would like that. He sort of played it down in his press conference, but I think it's definitely an aim because they were, after the Sheffield United victory a couple of weeks ago, they were eyeing up that points record of Reddin's and still hoping they would be able to break that. Obviously, unfortunately, they didn't with a couple of the draws that they had, as you mentioned. But yeah, they'll definitely want to hit that 100 points barrier because they deserve to. They deserve to be in that sort of category of players or teams who've been able to achieve that in the Championship, because they're definitely up there in terms of the best ones that have been in the division.
Burnley and QPR is the last two then. You confident City can end the season on a high?
Yeah, today's going to be tough, isn't it? I think both games are going to be tough, really, depending on if QPR have anything to play for in their relegation battle. Two difficult games. They can play with the pressure off now, really. So I'm expecting some pretty entertaining football. I think they can really go for it. Obviously, they're going to have to try and keep tight at the back today. But home form's been great, unbeaten in 2023, apart from the Man City game. So yeah, I'm expecting a good game, and I have a feeling that Bristol City will win today.
And obviously, to win the league at Ewood Park, the atmosphere's going to be buzzing today, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was such a special night. It's once in a lifetime type achievement for those players and the fans who were that were lucky enough to be there. Unfortunately, there wasn't more, as Company and the players have kept saying. But yeah, no, it's just that feel good factor, and I was coming down today on the train, and plenty of Burnley fans on there, and plenty of them making noise and singing about being champions, and you just can't get better than doing it against your arch rivals at their ground, enemy territory, to go in there, and something that'll never be forgotten and still be talked about in 50, 100 years' time.
And I mean, there's been a lot of talk about this is going to be Alex Scott's last home game. A lot of fans last time seeing Scott. It's a long summer ahead. Do you reckon he goes? And who will Pearson bring in if he does go?
That's a difficult question to answer. But in terms of he goes, I mean, I'd be surprised if he's still a Bristol City player next season. The amount of praise, and rightly so, he's got is entirely justified this season. You keep seeing new clubs being linked with him nearly every week now. Brighton latest, Liverpool before that, Wolves obviously in January. I think there's over half a dozen Premier League clubs that are interested in one way or another. So I mean, it's great for him. It's going to be good for the club if they can get a sizable fee for him, which I'm sure they will. And obviously, the more clubs, the higher the value in the end, because they might try and outbid each other. So I think it's inevitable that he will leave. I don't really think they'll get that loan back clause next season. But in terms of his replacement, he's difficult to replace, isn't he? Really, but I think they will need to sign a number 10 going forward. If he does leave, if that's the case, obviously they've got plenty of options with Vyman and Mehmeti and Conway, and you can drop back there and all sorts. But I think they still need a specialist number 10 next season if Scott leaves.
Ashton Jones, and Easy Jones. Follow my
Jacob, until kick-off, packed out away end.
Season here at
2-0, 2-1. I think with the weekend squad, Bristol are still going to be up for it. It's a big game for them at the end of the day. Best team in the league. And honestly, I think Benny's going to bag 2. And I think the rest of the squad's going to be kind of on just chill out mode. We've done it now. We're just kind of just relaxing. But I'm quite interested, obviously, to see Alex Scott and players like that. I've quite liked Bristol this season. Some of the football they've played is quite good, so I'm quite interested to see what happens. I think it could go one or two ways, but if we're up for it, then it could be a battering.
5 minutes to go to a kick-off. Players about to come out, but what an away end. Brilliant support. 4 games. What a finish. Second half then. Final half in this season. Burnley fans still have the point. City fans buzzing with that. Loads of police and security in front of that away end. Also over in front of Section 82 as well. Even more now. The 90 are up, 5 added minutes.